everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the OD Sportscast. I'm your host, Dak.
And I'm Oliver.
And today we bring you more NFL-heavy content this coming week before we head into the final week of July and into the final month of summer. Can we already believe we're already halfway through summer, Oliver? Can you just believe it?
It's been a pretty quick summer, even for me, who, in my opinion, summer's still kind of slow. But yeah, we're already towards August. We're entering like preseason territory for all the football leagues.
Exactly. And a bunch of fantasy people out there who love fantasy, including myself. But yeah, let's head into our first topic, and that being, as of today, Jacoby Brissett, who was, I like to say, quote unquote, bitching and whining for a reworked contract with the Arizona Cardinals, has finally come to an end. The Arizona Cardinals finally have a starting quarterback to start the season, and that being him. The contract he restructured on initially is a 2-year deal, but more or less it's actually a 1-year deal for $15.5 million guaranteed money with an initiative of $21 million. Do I think that's an overpay for a guy who played decently well last season at the helm for the Cardinals and the shit that Arizona's been in for quite a number of years so far? No, I think that's kind of reasonable. Because, I mean, Arizona hasn't found a decently starting quarterback since probably Carson Palmer and Kurt Warner. Actually, I take that back. Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray had some bright spots in his tenure in Arizona before getting shipped off to the Vikings. But yeah, I mean, great for Jacoby Brissett. At least Arizona finally doesn't have to worry about any quarterback scare during training camp, since training camp did in fact start today. And yeah, so Oliver, what's your take on this? Jacoby Brissett re-upping on his contract, and the Arizona Cardinals not even worried.
Yeah, I mean, considering where the Cardinals are at, like they're in a shitty spot right now. Considering that they got Jacoby on this deal, which you're right, I wouldn't consider it an overpay. I think it's a pretty fair deal. Like he's definitely not he's not a top quarterback in the league, but I mean, he'll do his thing. I guess this could be good news for the Cardinals. They have an actual they're kind of at a stable spot right now. For a team that bad at the moment, like I'm not really sure how they could rebuild around that. I think maybe just cultivate some wins or continue taking. I'm not really sure on that front. But I mean, I'm glad that that's over. Jacoby as a person, shaky on it, but I mean, I'm happy about this, I would say, for everyone involved.
And I will give you guys his stats from last season just to clarify. This is a quarterback who threw over 3,366 passing yards, led 14th in the NFL with that, had 23 touchdowns and tied 14th with that in the NFL, had 8 interceptions, so bottom 20, and QBR rating was 41.2. Not the greatest, but I mean, just for a 1-year contract, that's not bad.
Yeah, he's pretty solid, and he's pretty solid, and I think that's worth the amount of money he got. Perhaps the Cardinals could have squeezed a little bit less money out, but as you said, he was kind of bitching and whining about it for a while, and I mean, at least the Cardinals were able to get the deal done rather than go into the next season with a really shitty quarterback. Like a backup starting, which would just make things really bad for the Cardinals. But yeah, they have an uphill battle for the upcoming season for sure. But I mean, it's a core that they can kind of build around for the next couple seasons, even though it's 1 year, taking 1 year at a time.
True. Something that I do want to take noteworthy is that, and this is moving off the Cardinals, so congrats to Jacoby and all that, but we are talking about training camp just starting, right? I was going to put this in the document earlier, but I was like, I think it'll be brought up either way, some way, shape, or form. But let's talk about Patrick Mahomes for a second. I know that you kind of envy talking about him a decent amount of the time, but let's talk about it real fast. Mm-hmm. He's looking good. I've seen training camp videos recently, and he's looking good. He's looking back to his former self. He is doing his iconic rollout right, scrambling, rolling out right, and then, throwing an absolute dot. And I saw the news from Av Schefter yesterday saying that he got fully medically cleared. And I was like, how many months ago did he tear his ACL and PCL or whatever it was?
it was like in January, wasn't it?
I think so. It was like 7 months ago.
I mean that's like faster than Jason Tatum levels of ACL recovery.
Right.
Or I guess it was the Achilles for him, but whatever.
And I'm like, it usually takes up to a year almost just for injuries like that to recover. But ever since he got injured, he's been working in the gym day in, day out. Of course, he's currently wearing a leg brace to support that knee. But I mean, there at some point, I think that might come off, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has to wear that for support for the rest of his career. But I mean, in just a 7 month span alone, one of the top quarterbacks in the National Football League, in the National Football League, is coming back, and I wouldn't obviously. He's not in the GOAT debate anymore because he lost to the Eagles a couple years ago in the Super Bowl. But I would say that goes without saying. He's always still going to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I mean,
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
especially with the recovery process that he's done. And I'm kind of glad that he's now starting to build that chemistry with us signing, Kenneth Walker at the beginning of offseason, and then working out. I also saw that Rashid Rice got cleared to play too. So Kansas City might be a little scary. I wouldn't say scary enough to, be in fear of us, but if Mahomes is coming back week 1, which it looks like it's going to happen, then I think you definitely guys have to take notice of that for sure. There's no way that you can't. Like, yes, the Rams are the Super Bowl favorites without a question, but I think the Chiefs out of the other side, I think, is definitely a team to watch for.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Things looking up for the Chiefs. The thing is, I mean, I think I've made it quite clear. I'm always like a play it safe, like kind of skeptical, and I think 7 months is kind of an unbelievable amount of time for someone to recover from an ACL tear, in my opinion. For that reason, like I wouldn't rush to bring him back in. I want to rush to bring him back in the preseason and whatnot, obviously.
I think. I
But
think
I
the.
mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
like I wouldn't rush to bring him back in the preseason. But like if he's cleared to go for opening night, then go on ahead. That's a pretty big game one. So
And that's against the Broncos.
yeah, it's against
Keep
the
in mind,
Broncos,
that's
which
against Broncos.
that's I mean that's definitely your number one rival for this upcoming season.
Mm-hmm.
Like I trust. I mean the professionals know what they're doing, and if Mahomes looks good, then I'm all for it, and I think that's good. I just don't want to rush to conclusions.
Yeah, 100%. I
But
mean,
yeah,
I
I
think that's the plan though. Is that he sits out during the preseason, only still works in training camp in the meantime, and then they'll bring him out for the week 1 matchup against the Broncos, like you said.
yeah, and I mean like here's my opinion on where I think the Chiefs stand. I think we both can agree they're not going back to how they were a couple years ago,
No.
like dominating number one seed. I do think they're very well in the wild card hunt at the very least, or perhaps if I guess it depends on how they do in their series head to head, or like just a bunch of factors. They could snag like a 3 or 4 seed, perhaps. I think that's like a high ceiling, but I mean they could be wild card, and perhaps they can make an underdog, which it sounds weird calling the Chiefs an underdog, but like
I know.
underdog run to
You
the
wouldn't
to the
think.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think in the Mahomes era alone in Kansas City that you would ever call the Chiefs underdogs, especially with how last season went. But I guess that goes without saying that, let me think about it like this: is that we remember seeing highlights of when Brady tore his ACL and he was out for a year. And then that next season, he comes back, wins the Super Bowl, by the way,
Yep.
and the rest was history after that. I'm not saying that Mahomes could do that, but his recovery process is just insane, and that I think it could at least lead you to in the playoffs. At least I don't think it's going to lead you directly all the way to the Super Bowl, especially when you have to face a really better squads in Well, I wouldn't say the Bills are better. Probably, I would say Denver. Denver is getting better. Their defense is good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a tall
Denver,
task to
yeah,
beat
like
Denver.
let me throw out a couple names. Denver, the Texans. The Texans defense is amazing, but that's if Sorry, I'm sorry. That's if CJ Stroud doesn't, crap the bed. What's another team? Baltimore, but I'm honestly not afraid of Baltimore. They're really well-known playoff chokers for the last few seasons, and yes, it kind of sucks how last season ended, but that's why I'm not afraid of them. I mean, once they can either beat us or get past us, then I have no problem. A team that I also would say we should look out for probably is Cincinnati. Cincinnati, you have a returning Joe Burrow. You have still got T. Higgins, still got Jamar Chase. You guys boosted your defense finally in a long time. Got Dexter Lawrence from the Giants, which is huge. And without to mention, you also did lose Trey Hendrickson to the Ravens, but Trey Hendrickson's more on the older side, so that makes sense. But getting Dexter Lawrence was pretty huge. So, I mean, that's a couple names to throw. Yeah, you could say Buffalo, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of Buffalo, and here's the specific reason why. I'll give it to you real fast. Is that Buffalo, you guys had a chance the whole series last year to win the Super Bowl or at least get past the championship game, but you ended up shitting the bed, didn't you? Against who else? Who was it? It was the Patriots.
Yeah.
And I felt incredibly heartbroken for Josh Allen and the Bills at that moment, just because my team was already bounced out of the playoffs. But you have Mahomes coming back. You have Joe Burrow coming back. You have a bunch of, obviously Josh Allen, top 10 quarterback in the league. But the challenge is just going to keep getting a lot more harder now. Last season was your chance. And I know you guys hate hearing a lot of people say that. And I'll keep bringing it up and probably till the end of time. But that was your kind of one and only season because those star quarterbacks were out. Mahomes was out for the year. Joe Burrow was out for the year with the grade toe injury. Lamar Jackson was out for a significant amount of time. I'll get to Lamar Jackson in a second. And yeah, I mean, all around it was just disappointing. That's why I'm not afraid of the Bills, and that's why I like to rub it in Bills fans when I say 13-3. Or not 13-3, I'm sorry, 13 seconds. Anywho, let me talk about Lamar Jackson real quick. Let me just do a quick little rant. Lamar Jackson, what is going on? I get that you missed half of the year, and I don't know if you've seen the annual NFL rankings by players and the executives and all that they do every year.
Yes.
Did you see where they ranked Lamar Jackson?
They ranked it pretty low, right? Or am I
really low? He's not even in top 10.
Yeah, not even top 10.
Not even top 10. He was ranked 67 out of
67. Wow.
Of 100, and that's joke not intended, by the way.
Yeah, that's where they. That's an unfortunate place to be in our society today, but
yeah, definitely. But I mean, that just goes without saying that the season prior, before last season in 2025, he was healthy, played all the games, led the Ravens to, I believe it was the divisional round, lost to my Chiefs. How about that?
Yeah,
they choked it. I mean, yes, you could probably blame your kicker Tyler Loop, but that's why in the regular. And this is the best way I can put it real quick, is in the regular season alone, Baltimore is amazing during the regular season. Their roster, and that's if they stay healthy, is great during the regular season. But when it comes to playoffs, and we all know how playoff football is different compared to regular season, they tend to choke a lot. Like, sure, they make it out of the first round, and that's no surprise. Do you guys ever make it out of the second round? I don't think so. Like, I bet you if I look at, like, the last 2 seasons, they've probably been bounced out of the first round. Would be my guess. But I will keep calling them playoff chokers specifically until they either make the championship game again or the Super Bowl. And they lost their head coach, keep in mind. John Harbaugh's not there anymore.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay, that was news when you told me that right now.
Yeah. He's on the Giants. He's the Giants' new head coach. Hence why the Giants are a team that I would say you should look out for next season. Because John Harbaugh's offense can change a whole team. And this is with a returning Cam Scadaboo, who is just going to go absolute nuclear on the offense. And Malik Neighbors, that's if he can get back to his former self before the horrible injury he had. But we'll see. But yeah, back to Baltimore real fast. They went out, hired Jesse Minster, the defensive coordinator, by the way, that was on Harbaugh's staff. They rather go with a defensive minded coach than an offensive minded, which I think's interesting. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep calling you guys playoff jokers until then. So
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Fair points on all digging down on all your opponents. I still think, like, you're right. I would say the Bills had their chance and they threw it. I don't think it's the end of the world. I still think it would be it's much more uphill for them to get another chance to make a deep playoff run. But you're right. I would cautiously. Oh my god, I can't form the words, but I wouldn't scoff at them. But you're right, the Ravens have had a massive fall off, and I wouldn't be shocked if they don't make the playoffs again. So that being said, the Chiefs' schedule, I mean, it's not the most difficult schedule in the world, and for that reason,
it's
the
also
Chiefs
not the
can make playoff
easiest.
runs.
It's
Yeah,
also not.
well, it's pretty average, I would say.
It's not like a lot of people can't throw slack at us for an easy schedule because let's compare it to the Patriots schedule last year. The easiest schedule
Oh
in
yeah.
all of history. Let's just get that out of the way. Easiest schedule they've had in years, and of course made the Super Bowl, no question about that. Then all of a sudden you get your ass handed to you by the Seahawks and the Legion. Basically, they call themselves the Dark Side, which I don't know if that's a play on to
That's
Legion of
really
Boom. That's a play
it's a
on
really
to
funny
Legion.
nickname.
I know it's like a play on to the Legion of Boom almost. Shout out Cam Chancellor, by the way. What a dog back then. But yeah, I mean, they had a really easy schedule. Of course, Drake May did show out, so I'll give him credit. He was an MVP conversation, not better than Matthew Stafford, but he has proven that he could probably be better. Once Matthew Stafford retires, I'm not saying he's better than Matthew Stafford right now going into this season, but I mean, Patriots' schedule is also was just easy. If you compare that to the Chiefs now, we're going against a lot of division rivals and a bunch of more boosted up, better teams, like the
Hmm.
Bron, like we have mentioned again, Broncos, Chargers. I'm gonna throw in there. You got Jim Harbaugh, the brother of John. You got an improved Justin Herbert. You got a new OC and Mike McDaniel. Yeah, which I think was an amazing signing because that could just do wonders for Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert probably could throw for over like 2,000 passing yards with McDaniel under the helm as OC. That's how I view it. Your wide receiver core is a little questionable. I wouldn't put confidence in Johnson just yet. Quinn Johnston just yet. I would say wait and see what that looks like, and then Omari Hampton's a good running back. I mean,
Hmm.
you guys are decently solid. We tied with them, I think, last season, so it was like a 1-1 scenario. I also kind of figured that last season, when the Chiefs started going on their losing streak, was when our last battle gasp of air when we we're still in contention, like say week 6, I believe. It was against the Jags. And when I saw that infamous low hike that Trevor Lawrence took, and then he almost looked like he fumbled it on the ground, but then got back up and scored the rushing touchdown, I was like, okay, this is where the downfall happens. And was I right? Yes, I was 100% right.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, yeah, a lot of, a lot of football news. Also, I mean, I do got to shout out my NFC West.
Yes, well, let's
Pretty difficult teams on that front.
yes, let's
So,
let's let's switch to the NFC West.
and I was
Now
looking
that I
up
think about it.
I was looking up the past schedule because I didn't remember it off the top of my head, and yeah, it's the easiest schedule I've seen probably ever. So if anything, they did have I would call it a Mickey Mouse run to like. It was the 2 seed in the playoffs. Even after all that, they couldn't even get the 1 seed. So there's your daily Patriot slander for the day.
Yeah, yeah, and then let's go over to your division. I got two things first. Well, let's go to the Rams real quick before the 49ers. The Rams, the return, it looks very scary and very real. The return of Aaron Donald is actually most likely going to happen. I've seen reports floating around that it's been like, the blah 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 blah, and the sighting at the Rams facility. But I think it's gonna happen. They're saying that he's not gonna come out during training camp nor preseason. He's more aimed towards either week 1 or mid season, so like week 7.
I mean,
The fact that if Aaron Donald does come out of retirement, that can change the whole. What I mean, the whole. That could change the whole, not just the whole league, but your guys' division make it a lot tougher when you see Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald at.
I mean, sheesh, man, that's not good. That's not great for me to hear. I mean, he was a dog playing for the Rams. He has a super. Yeah, he does have a Super Bowl title. And I mean, if he does decide to return this year after the fucking super team that they've built, I don't put it past him. Certainly, he's definitely gonna be rusty and older, so perhaps not at his 100%. But I mean, they already they already have the fucking defense player of the year, and like now they already have another fucking defensive legend if he comes back. So offense and defense, the Rams are going to be scary
Scary.
and probably the 1 seed.
Yeah, definitely. There's no question about it that they're most likely going to be the 1 seed. I will give credit to the. I will give you 49ers fans, clear yourself, Oliver, credit. I could definitely see you guys putting in a good fight.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I'm still very hopeful we'll make the wild card round,
oh yeah, there's no question that you wouldn't.
or even somehow hell of it like not like be second in the division. Perhaps I guess it depends like on our injury luck, on a lot of different factors. It depends on how like the Rams' injury luck, but I mean they already have like a bunch of the top players on their team, so
Defense and offense, but mostly defense.
mostly defense. Yeah,
Here's something that you forget is that they stole our top 2 corners from us and signed them. And I'm like, who the fuck are we gonna sign now as our top 2 corners? One of them is Monster Delaney, which I've heard he's decently good, but not obviously Trent McDuffie or Watson. And then I think we drafted also another corner, but yeah, I mean, like they stole our top 2 corners. We got like a couple picks in return, which I'm still pissed about. And then they got Myles Garrett from the Browns, which that changed everything. And yeah, now you might get an NFL legend back. Oh, this is very great.
so I mean, fucking hell, the Rams have built one of the greatest super teams, probably perhaps of all time, maybe definitely the scariest defensive and overall team the decade so far. I think this team could. That's a bit of a stretch. Definitely, they would definitely be on par with like peak Chiefs dynasty, I would say. Although the thing is, will this team stick around together for the foreseeable future? Who knows? But I mean, it's tough. It's tough for me to want to like gauge that, like, or I guess just have any hope. I mean,
Yeah.
I have hope. I think we could still the 49ers could still split a series with them. The Rams, after all, are one of the teams that are more rustier than others entering the season, and our opening night game is against the Rams. So yeah, the we'll be the first testers, or perhaps another way to put it, playground for that other team to play on. So
You also have to realize that this is also a division that has the defending champs as well.
yeah, we can't forget about Seattle, even though they did lose some key players, they're I mean, this is defending Super Bowl champions. Why the hell would they become? I mean, that is a possibility, but I mean, they're still gonna be fucking like a not less than 5 loss team.
Definitely. But yeah, let's switch to the unfortunate news for the 49ers real quick.
Yeah, I did.
Some sad news. Well, not sad news, but like no one died or anything. But let's just say someone was close to dying. Kyle Shanahan got into a horrible car accident before they started training camp, and according to the article here by Adam Scheffner, he got surgery, so he's recovering now. Thank goodness. And luckily, no one else, obviously, in the car accident was hurt. But according to this, there was a car collision that happened in Northern California from his home, and it happened on July 14th. He collided with an SUV, which is pretty gnarly. He broke his nose, 3 ribs, his hand, and he had to have a total of 40 stitches on his face.
Yeah, which that's
Oh
fucking
God.
that's awful. That's really fucking awful. Like I'm glad he didn't die, and I'm glad he's recovering and will be back in shape to be a part of the team sometime in the future. And I'm thankful about that. But it's a really bad loss. He was the one, like, I would credit him and hit him to a lot of the success that the 49ers have had in recent years, even during their
Oh
injury
yeah.
riddled seasons. And
Oh yeah.
I hate to it feels kind of rude to poke fun at it again, but like, God, it's another example of cursed things and injuries that have been happening and that they've extended to our coach off the field. But regardless, I don't know, like, it says I can't imagine any less than a couple months of recovery, so this is he's not going to be available for the entire season.
Yeah.
Definitely not the preseason or the training camp. I still have hope that the other coaching staff, whatnot, will help, can at least, like, during practice and whatnot, help the players develop the best they possibly can. And then when it comes time, when it's game time, like, the 49ers are known for having a really great offense, and that alone can shine through. So it sucks to hear, and I hope Shanahan can at least return for the end of the season or perhaps the
Mid-season
playoffs. We'll see about that.
playoffs. Yeah.
But I mean, like, it sucks to see, but I have hope that this isn't gonna impact our on court or on field stuff. I meant too harshly, but I mean, it sucks. It sucks to hear about someone getting in a horrific crash, and I can't downplay that.
Yeah, definitely. There are some good news for your guys' team.
Hmm.
You guys have Nick Bosa coming back from his injury.
Yep, I did hear about that, and I'm pumped about it.
And according to sources or a player on your guys' team. Oh no, it's Trent Williams. Yeah, Trent Williams said that he hadn't seen him like the whole off season, but then when training camp started, he said, "Oh yeah, the guy looks better, brand new. Better than he did last year." And I'm like, that's gonna be scary,
Yeah, I mean, but by that quote, it sounds like he just kind of like went monk mode and hid from the world and just spent
bro.
all of his effort on recovery.
Bro pulled a Victor Wembanyama and said,
That's what I'm.
I'm gonna go to a temple. I'm gonna meditate and say,
Yeah, I mean,
and come back."
that's my term for someone locking in during the off season more than they probably could have gone away with. But I mean, that's lighter news that I can be excited about. So just gotta wait on, like, Kittle and stuff. But I mean, we'll see about that. But like, it's looking overall, it's looking grim. But I mean, I think it's like, if we just lock in the playoffs or whatnot, I'm not sure. Listen, I'm not like a hidden GM for the NFL, so I'm not sure what the strategy is moving forward. Just lock in, I suppose, and make sure everyone rehabs, and maybe perhaps put in a little bit of extra time and practice working on your body to prevent injuries, whatnot. Maybe an extra ice bath or two. Who knows? I'm not a trainer, so I don't know what would help with that. But yeah, I wish Kyle Shanahan the best possible recovery. I send my energy, and everyone else to have a healthy season for once. Please God, let it happen. But yeah, I mean, that's about it for NFL news for today. It seems we do have a couple pieces of NBA news. Dak and
Yes. And then if else we do help Kyle Shanahan with speed recovery, I'm definitely looking forward to his recovery. We do got one piece of NBA news before the big hurrah, I should say.
wait, yeah, before we address the elephant in the room.
Mario Hezonja, a former Blazer, is back in the NBA. Signed a one-year deal worth $2.8 million and is joining the Cavaliers. Welcome back to the league.
Congratulations. Listen, I'm not nearly as big into ball to know specifically what a season was like when he played 6 years ago or so for the Blazers. He last played for the bubble team in 2020. He came off the bench, but I mean, the thing that I'll say is finally the Cavs are making some moves. I think it's about
Definitely.
time that they make some off-season moves, because what that playoff series has taught us is that the team in its current state, Ooh, considering that they got swept and they have a really old James Harden who is notorious for choking in the playoffs is that they need to make other big moves, not necessarily trade the whole team away, maybe some big free agent signings. But again, they were in some money issues. So I understand why they didn't do that. But it looks like they finally they found a former Blazer, signed him to a regular deal, it sounds like, to play off the bench for them, which, I mean, that's probably the best they could have done at the moment. If I was them, I don't know, I would have either trade away James Harden or someone else, clear up some money, build the bench, who knows. But I mean, good to know where the Cleveland Cavs are at the moment. Yeah, that's. Let me load up Mario's stats real quick, just
When
to.
he last played in the league.
Yeah, he played. Yeah, it looks like he last. Oh my god, he lost it. There we go. He last played in 2020. He did play for the Blazers during that Lakers series.
That was when Bubble Dame was.
That was Bubble Dame. Yep.
But I love fucking Bubble Dame, bro. It was great.
Although he averaged, like, during his final season with the Blazers, he averaged 5 points a game, 4 rebounds, 1 assist on 42% efficiency, which, I mean, that's, for a bench player, that's pretty damn good.
That's decently good, yeah.
He's 31 years old, so by no means is he young, but I mean, it's not like his body's bad. So, I mean, I think I think he could keep those stats up and have a good season with the Cavaliers, and perhaps make them, considering how stacked the East is now, perhaps keep the Cavaliers in a top 4 seed spot.
I wouldn't see why not.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying that the Cavaliers are suddenly way worse. It's just that, like, I think they're still a pretty good regular season team. They've always been a really good regular season team. Um, it's just, I mean, we're gonna segue into it very soon or right now, but I mean, they have a lot more competition in the East now.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I might as well introduce the final
Go
topic,
ahead.
unless if you have anything else to say about it. So,
No, go ahead.
on Friday. It was on Friday, July 14th, or 14th, 24th, my apologies. LeBron James has finally made his decision.
Yeah.
And he
At
chose.
let me clarify real quick. At 1 in the morning, by the way, according to his agent, it took him until 1 in the morning.
1 in the morning, yeah. I saw that because let me read out the deal real quick. LeBron James has signed a 2-year deal with a player option, $80 million contract with the Philadelphia 76ers, which he's joining a really crazy starting five of Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jalen Brown, which, remember, was a steal of a deal where they traded away Paul George, himself, and Joel Embiid. That's an unbelievable starting five, and I don't blame LeBron James for ring chasing and joining that squad.
A lot of other people would say otherwise.
I don't know. I don't blame him at all. I mean, I do put a little bit of blame because personally, I'll give my take on this. I remember, like, first seeing this. I had the notification waiting for me as soon as I woke up that morning, and I was like, oh shit, really? The 76ers. I was like, I always thought him signing with the 76ers was a nothing ever happens type of a moment. I was like, oh, he's gonna join he's either joining the Heat or the Cavs. It's a lock. But no, that's not what happened, and he joined the 76ers. The money, it was an $80 million contract, and I remember you saying this on the podcast several times. You thought he wouldn't skip out on the money. $80 million is a very cheap contract considering
Yeah.
it's the most famous basketball player currently active or ever. We could argue ever. I mean, LeBron's in the GOAT debate. I mean, I know most people would say he's the GOAT, and I'm still torn. I'm still torn on if he's the GOAT. I need one more ring for to make it a lock for me. But like, it's considering that's a team he's never been on, and it's $80 million. He sacrificed a lot in that front.
He did.
I did read a report saying that there's a chance that he might live in New York City and take a helicopter, which, no, LeBron, don't do that. But I mean, jokes aside, I'm not a rich person, so maybe it's easier than it sounds. But I feel like that's kind of a waste of money, or not money, but like time and emissions. So, but again, I'm not rich. Maybe it's easier than it sounds for someone who's a billionaire. But
Yeah,
regardless,
well, and here's the interesting part. So I looked at, because he just like officially signed the contract today, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But something kind of had my head kind of turn real fast and be like, hold up, hold up, hold up. What is in his contract that says what again? Let me read it to you real fast. So he signs a 2-year deal worth $8 million, but he has a 15% trade kicker. Do you want to know what that 15% trade kicker means, Oliver?
Oh yeah, tell me.
So 15% of a trade kicker is built into his contract. This is if he got traded because he has a player option on the contract.
That'd be really funny if he gets traded.
Like he plays.
He's never been traded in his career until now.
I mean, it could happen during his second season with the 76ers.
If he doesn't retire before then.
Yeah. So with the player option that's in there for the second season, if he were ever to get traded, it would be 15% of whatever is remaining on the contract, and it would trigger another team to take that money as part of the 15%. Because I saw Shams tweet about it, and I was like, what the fuck does he mean by 15% trade kicker? And then I had to look it up, and I'm like...
It's like a gamer version of a no-trade clause.
Yeah, basically. And that goes without questioning. Why didn't he just put a no-trade clause in, you know?
I mean... Listen, I guess this is a good transition to on the court. How this trade, or not trade, the signing goes down. I think it'd be really silly if LeBron ever gets traded. Like, I get he's old and he's definitely not the player he once was.
Obviously.
But I mean, that would be really weird to see, like, waking up in February and seeing LeBron James traded to insert X team, whatever. But regardless, on the court, as I mentioned, he's joining a starting five of Maxey, Edgecombe, Brown, himself, and Embiid. He replaced Dean Wade's spot, who's now off the bench. And I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Like, I don't know the full Philly team off the top of my head, but I know the players that will get significant time alongside him would be off the bench: Anthony Simons, former Blazer, Dean Wade, and I'm sick of forgetting one. I'm gonna have to let me pull up the roster of the team real quick if I can find. There it is. Adam Bona, Adam Bona and Ariel Hukaporti, who are the backup centers as of right now. Let me look. Oh, Justin Edwards. Can't forget about him.
Yeah.
Oh, I keep forgetting Caleb Love and Ryan Rupert are on the team now too.
They're most likely not going to get re-signed, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, I mean, for the time being, they are on the team.
They're for the time being,
Watford, Jabari Walker. They brought in LeBaron Filan Jr. Absolute steal from the draft. I don't think there's any other super notable players on this. Dominic Barlow, I suppose. Like, those are all the notable players on the team. So, I mean, it's not like OKC level bench. It's definitely not. But I think, like, they have some pretty competent players that will play off the bench. I think their main issue is that their front court of LeBron and Embiid is an injury-prone front court.
Yeah, so that goes kind of into my first question.
Ask me your question.
So I heard from Stephen A. Smith off of First Take that he sees the 76ers winning the title, like going all the way winning the title and everything. Do you, in your opinion, see that? Or do you think the East is still wide open and there are teams that there's like a couple of other better teams than the 76ers?
Okay. Where it's at, I would definitely call the Sixers a top 3 team in the East. And I think on paper that's like the same. I feel like that's the similar way to say analytically. But on paper, I think they're the best. They're the most likely to win. Of course, there's the Knicks, who, I mean, they did lose Mitchell Robinson, but I mean, they just won the title. Even though no one's run it back in 8 years, they have the best chance at winning, at doing so. There's I would say the Celtics, but they're definitely not contenders, or at least better than the Sixers. I'm just running down. There's the Pistons, which they got the 1 seed last year. They were a very good regular season team led by Cade Cunningham. I guess I'm I'm sure by the end of it, Jalen Duren will be back. It's not official yet. But I mean, the thing about them is that they were big playoff droppers and nearly lost to the 8th seed Orlando Magic, which they needed a legendary choke to not lose that. So I would imagine that they'll still probably be a top 3 seed. I think they just had a really unbelievable season. I think that they might be able to sort themselves out in the playoffs, and I think they'll be one of the biggest headaches for the Sixers. Let me continue running down the Raptors. They traded for Kawhi.
And by the
That's
way,
kind it,
that trade's been finalized now, so Kawhi is there. Kawhi is officially a Raptor. The investigation is done, at least for the NBA side of things.
yeah,
There's still being investigated personally outside the league, but the NBA's investigation into the matter is done, so the trade is finalized. Just
yeah.
to tell the viewers.
So I mean, that's a dangerous team. I can't imagine Kawhi will have a massive drop off. I still think he'll definitely be an all-star level. And I mean, they have other great players on the team. A really good defensive team, that's for sure. So they're going to be a problem. But at this point, we're reaching the teams that I think will be worse than the 76ers. There's the Heat, which traded like 5 players for Giannis, which they'll be good. I'm sure they'll make the playoffs with that squad. But I mean,
It's just there's no
their depth
there's
is fucked, and they don't have good guard.
they don't have shooting. Yeah, that's what I was pretty much trying to say. Is they don't got shooting, so it all just depends down the wire.
And I mean, and then there's other teams like the Hawks, the Magic, the Pacers, which, in my opinion, they're all kind of wild cards. It's kind of hard to predict. Will Halliburton be back and carry the Pacers to the playoffs, or will they probably
I
be in the
wouldn't
plan?
I wouldn't
Like,
see why. I wouldn't see why not. I mean, he's been putting the work in the gym, and I think he can definitely lead the Pacers back again, not to the finals, but to the playoffs at least. I
yeah.
mean,
So
they went out and got, they traded off of Miles Turner's bad contract to Milwaukee, or no, Milwaukee signed him actually, and then they went out and got Visa Zubac from the Clippers, which I think is 100% better of a center than Miles Turner, to be honest. So that really tells you something.
yeah, I mean, the thing about the East is that
It's still wide open.
yeah, I still think it's wide open. I do believe the 76ers are the favorite on paper, but like it brings me back to like similar super teams that have formed in the past 5-10 years. Like crazy duos who just never made it out because I mean it's the NBA playoffs.
Cough, cough, cough. The
The,
2021 Brooklyn Nets. Cough,
the
cough,
Nets,
cough.
the 2023 Clippers. I think the KD Suns team is a part of that. So just because we have like 4 superstars on a team doesn't mean they'll automatically be good. And yes, it's LeBron. It's LeBron James, but he'll be 42 years old. He does. He's the most. I mean, he
That's
is the
if he
most
also can
experienced
stay
player.
healthy too. By the way.
Yeah, stay healthy, along with Embiid. And like I said, if they don't stay healthy, then their front court is going to be pretty shit.
Right, like my aim real fast. My aim is I'm hoping that Joel Embiid can at least, because he played 38 games last season.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that he could play at least like 50. If he could
yeah,
do that, then I got no problem.
yeah. And if LeBron and Embiid could play combined like 100 games, I think that's like a combined 100 games between the two of them. I'd call that successful. But I still think it's wide open. I think th- they probably will be seated. I would imagine the Sixers at the moment will probably be seated somewhere around like 3 or 4. That
Yeah.
would be my guess because again, injuries are an issue. But I think when the time comes, they can make a playoff run and come out of the East. I think they're the favorites to do that. But I mean, there's at least like 4 other teams that, depending on injuries, circumstances, whatnot, can beat them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Can 2025 Hallie come back? Who knows? Can the Pistons wake up from their playoff curse? That's a factor. Can the Knicks run it back? Like, there's like 5 teams that can beat them in the playoffs, I think.
Like, and I've said this before. There are like the East is still wide open. I've said that multiple times. But another thing that people have to keep in mind is that the West is it's who else ever comes out of the West when you head into the finals.
That's true, because there's San Antonio, OKC, which can I okay, the teams in the West that I think are on paper better than the Sixers. Let me go down the list. OKC, Spurs, Timberwolves, perhaps.
I would say
if they can
Timberwolves.
stay healthy,
Yeah.
than the Sixers. I think they have a better bench too. Not the Blazers, unfortunately.
I wish.
The Nuggets.
I would be a little hesitant on that one because they've been bounced out
Listen,
of the first
okay, whatever.
round.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go through all the teams, but I think,
Yeah.
considering how young both the Spurs and OKC are, I think they're gonna be like the Cavs and Warriors returning to the finals every year. Of the 2020s, they're gonna be in the Western Conference Finals and and fight to win the NBA championship for a long time.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the Western Conference Finals matchup I could just see being for a long time going is OKC, San Antonio. Who wins that?
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's not wide open. It's
yeah.
not
Those
wide
teams
open
kind of
at all.
no. Those are kind of locked, and they have been for
No, and I think
past two seasons.
a lot of Braun Glazers and Sixers fans as of the past 2 days will not be happy hearing that.
Oh yeah. Well, here's my
What?
second.
Oh yeah, ask it real quick.
Here's my second question real quick. I've seen a lot of old NBA vets be disappointed in him joining the 76ers for quote unquote ring chasing. But do you think, in your opinion, that LeBron joining the Sixers as well also ruins his chance of being in the GOAT conversation?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think listen, in my opinion, if you win the championship in the NBA, that makes you a better player. Like for example, like let me use Kevin Durant as an example.
Okay.
Like Kevin Durant left the Thunder to join the Warriors super team. Now, I think the two rings he won with the Warriors would possibly weigh less than if he were to win one ring with the OKC Thunder. But a ring is a ring, and I think that will make you that makes you a better player. So, like for example, if LeBron were to join the Heat, which out of them or no, not the Heat. Let's say the Warriors, which because out of the four teams in contention that he would have joined, that were in talks in the media for a long time, I think the Warriors are the worst team out of those. Out of those, would you agree?
Yes.
If he were to somehow if he were to join the Warriors and play alongside Steph and never win a ring with them and just retire in Golden State, I think that would diminish his legacy more than if he were to win a ring with the current 76ers. That's my opinion. If he were to somehow win a ring with that Warriors team, that would definitely be better. But it's less likely and again, listen, I guess I'll quickly go on a tangent and say when I first learned of the news, my first thought was like, thank God it wasn't the Warriors because I think we both hate the Warriors to an
Yeah.
extent,
To an extent, though we
and
can both agree though.
I still think the storybook ending would have been if he were to join the Cavs or the Heat, but I mean, which I guess this leads back. The Heat, I think, are the second least likely team that he could have won a championship with. Just because it
No
still seems like no
shooting.
shooting.
Yeah, it's Sunny no shooting.
But I mean, still would have been impressive. And I still think they would have been worse than the 76ers with Jalen Brown, but no LeBron. The 76ers as of July 23rd, I mean. And then finally, my destination of choice would have been the Cavs, but because, I mean, storybook ending, am I right? But
Yes. Yes.
money is an issue, but clearly he didn't really care about money in picking
Yep.
Philly. And
He.
also, James Harden's a problem. I can understand why I didn't want to play with James Harden. And I saw this interesting hypothetical pop up when the signing went down is what if the Cavaliers never traded Darius Garland for James Harden?
Ooh.
Would that have made LeBron a Cav right now?
Maybe.
Or would that have changed how their playoff run in the most recent playoffs would win? But I mean, that's a what if.
That's what a scenario.
Personally, I'm like, I don't think it would have changed. I mean, I don't know. But I don't think it diminishes his ring chasing in Philly doesn't diminish his legacy. Now there's the outcome is if he doesn't win a ring at all, which I think no matter if he were to join a new team, which he did, that's the risky part. If he can't win this, then this is going to be seen as the Michael Jordan Wizards period of his career, which
Unfortunately.
will diminish it to a certain extent. So it's a gamble, but it's the safest gamble that he could have taken. Now, if he were to just say, you know what, I've done enough, I'm gonna have a retirement tour in Cleveland or Miami, then obviously that wouldn't improve anything. And I mean, that's why I thought the Cavaliers was the best possible choice because he could ring chase and have a happy ending
Right.
and still not hurt his image in any way if he were to stay in Cleveland. But like it's difficult. I think he clearly, especially considering like that tweet he put out, which
Which I read the full
happened
thing.
shortly after. Yeah, let me pull it up real quick. He tweeted he did like a big ramble on X
Here, I'll
after the
show it.
signing went down.
I'll show it to the wonderful viewers real fast. LeBron James.
Le- James. I forget that he talks like that on platform.
Yes. All right, here it is. I have it pulled up for the wonderful viewers who can see it
Whoa.
on. I thought I was done when the season ended. I wasn't ready to announce it, and I knew I needed some time to really decide. But I'm pretty sure I played my last game. I was honest at that last press conference when I said I need to look at myself and decide if I still love this game. Still truly love this game, and I have more to give. The last few weeks have been special. I've never been able to have no clue what to do and take real time to just think. I've had an incredible few months with all the people I love trying to figure it all out. This is my last decision. I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What I am really playing for at this point, question mark, I still want to sacrifice. I still want to work. I still want to grind. I still want to compete to win and to have the chance at feeling of winning another championship. I believe I can help make the Philadelphia 76ers a championship team, and I am so excited to energize a new fan base and start the incredible journey one last time. And then he shouts out Miami saying, "Thank you, LA, Miami, and I will forever love, and Northwest Ohio will always be home."
Yeah, and I mean he said it himself. He's chasing another championship. I mean, even ignoring if it's successful or not, I think that is a bigger statement than just writing it out at home in Cleveland and just saying, "All right, you know what? It's over with." Which, um, in my opinion, I would have rather have seen him just say, "You know what? I've done enough. I'm gonna have one last push in my home city and have and not risk my aura rather than risking looking like a Wizards MJ in the city of Philly." So
That's
I
really
think
crazy we're comparing that.
if anything, Philadelphia is more of a gamble than staying in Cleveland. What's a good comparison for that? Like he's like going all in on black rather than splitting and losing a little bit by going to Miami or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's a valid comparison, but like he's if he wins a championship, he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT, and that doesn't hurt, and that doesn't give him like people are gonna say ring chaser, but he'll want it, and if he still averages and produces pretty well for the like if he's still like the third option whatnot, then it's worth. Which if anything, he's the fourth option. He's the fourth best player on the team right now. But yeah, that's my opinion on if he's ring chasing.
Gotcha.
Have any? I do have one more. If you don't have any more interview questions, I do have. I have my one take on if I'll root for them or not.
Get it, go ahead.
Oh,
I have
so
no
okay.
more.
So here's the thing. The 76ers are a weird ass team because they've done so much off-season shit. They got LeBron James and everyone
Uh-huh.
loves LeBron, right? But also they have a ton of former Blazers.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I forgot
And
about
for
that.
that reason, I think I'm going to root for them. But there's one caveat
What's
is
the
that
caveat?
they also have Jalen Brown, which should have been a rightful Blazer. So it kind of feels like looking like what the Blazers could have looked like today in the good timeline, like if everything went right in the past 2 years.
Hmm.
But like, especially considering that, I remember when LeBron first announced he wasn't returning to the Lakers. I was like, oh my god, he could go to the Blazers. It could happen.
I saw
Obviously, that was never gonna happen.
Yeah, I saw
There's,
rumors
I
that
think we
before he
talked about it
just
last week.
yeah, I saw rumors floating around saying like, "Oh, he may be a Blazer," and I'm like, as much as I'm a Blazers fan and I want to think that delusionally, it's not.
But I mean, I saw a report that I did see a report. Let me go find it real quick. But it said that Jalen Brown, like the Portland lost interest in Jalen Brown immediately after he said he does not want to live in the city of Portland.
Well, and Jalen Brown kind of just did a whole FU to us and said, minus not wanting to live here, he also said that he just doesn't see a long term here. And Portland was
Which
wanting
that
to,
stinks.
and which
And for
Port,
that reason,
yeah, I hate
and for
Jalen
that
Brown.
reason, I was like,
I don't like care for Jalen.
I didn't really like Jalen Brown. Like obviously, I had to like him because the Blazers were interested in him. But now I'm like because like considering the comments he made surrounding the Celtics around like this their season end, being like, oh, this was the best season I had, and then
Yep.
him trash talking the refs
Yep.
on the live stream after getting eliminated. I was like, this
This
might
would be a good look for
this
Portland.
might be this guy's kind of a douchebag, and also. I was willing to put this aside when the Jalen Brown rumors were in full swing, mostly, but it's like it might be a bad mix on court at least when it comes to how much everyone wants to share the ball because there could like there is a world out there where the Blazers during this offseason acquired John Morant and Jalen Brown. Both could have happened at the same time, which would mean a starting five with like four ball dominant players and Dame, Jaw, JB, and Denny. Which that's kind of what I'm seeing in Philly right now. I'm not saying that's going to be bad. I think that's going to be a really good team. I'm just saying this is just an elaborate way to say I don't like Jalen Brown, so I'll root for the Sixers, but I'm gonna root. I don't want Jalen. I don't want Jalen Brown, who I
You're
think Jalen Brown's the
let
best
me
player on the Sixers right now.
let me put it this way: is that you're not really happy with what he said about
No,
Portland, especially since we were the front runners after all this time to get him, and then all of a sudden again said, "F you, Portland. I'm gonna go somewhere else."
yeah, I mean, I like it's an unfortunate reality for being a fan of a team who historically hasn't been that successful and is also located in a pretty small city.
Small market too. So I mean, I'm glad we took the
Yeah,
swing. I'm glad we took the swing on John Morant because I mean it does boost our team in a certain way, but I mean
yeah.
let's put
Well,
it this way. Let's put it this way real fast. Is that the image that John Morant will bring back to Portland and to revive his career, I would say,
yeah.
looks a lot better than having to go out and give up all of our
Give up our
give up our
picks and our
give up
future
and in future for
for Jalen Brown, who might not, who sounds like he wouldn't have even stuck around in the first place.
exactly, and who would be very unhappy, kept talking shit about Portland, and it's like, okay.
So if anything, it actually, I think, like, I thought about it more, and I'm like, John Morant does seem legitimately happy to be in a new area, new team, new me
Oh
type
yeah,
shit.
he showed up to the training facility
I did see that video,
recently.
yes.
Started working out on the court with not with Dame yet, but he's been working with Denny and some of the shooting coaches. And then he even showed up to like the first full day that he landed in Portland after leaving his home in Memphis. He went to a Portland Fire game
I
and
did see
said,
that, yes, and it was
and
the same. I guess
he's
I'll mention it right now.
yeah, go ahead, go
Same
ahead.
game that Sarah Ashley Barker got injured. Like I think
Unfortunately, yeah.
she tore her ACL or something. Unfortunate to watch to see that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think, and then he puts out like a shout out video saying, "Hey, what's up, Portland? I'm finally here. Let's get to work." And then I saw fans taking videos of him from the like 200 level at his little box suite, and he was jumping with excitement. You could tell he's just gonna like life better here than he did in Memphis.
I mean, I'm gonna play
Ooh.
devil's advocate, and I'm gonna say I think every piece, everything that we've seen out of him since he's arrived to Portland has probably been a PR move, or at least some contractual obligation, like the media day thing. He was probably and he might be pulling it up to the camera. So I'm willing to say, oh, this is all just required media stuff. But I think I can tell by the way he speaks and just kind of the energy. I mean,
They brings.
he brings that he's excited to start anew, And I think that translates into, even if it's not immediately obvious in the first season we get with him, that he's gonna be a star player for the team for the years to come.
Well, and here's the great thing about John Morant is he's a Nike based athlete, right?
All right, I forgot about that.
Nike based athlete and has one of the more better looking basketball shoes in the league, and they draw a whole bunch of money. Like the many amounts of shoes that I've seen by him alone just being sold at Foot Locker and Champs is just absolutely crazy.
I might have to consider looking at his shoes now, but
yeah, I mean, his shoes look good. Knowing you, probably when we go to the first regular season game, hopefully that's opening night, that you'll most likely somehow maybe buy a John Morant jersey or think about it.
you know,
Who knows?
yeah. I guess I'll mention this right now. Fun fact about me. On Friday, the Blazers were doing some like clearance giveaway thing.
You went to that?
I did go to that, but unfortunately, I was like, oh, I have nothing else. Literally have nothing else going on. I'm willing to wait an hour if it means nothing, and it ended up meaning nothing because they sold out before I got to the door.
That
So
sucks.
I wasted an hour, but I was able to pick up like a $60 Lillard jersey on my way home.
And your size?
Not in my size. It was like a size too big, but I'm considering gifting it to my dad.
Nice.
But or just living with the fact that it's a size too big and being like, it's a Lillard jersey. Come on.
What size is it, if I may ask?
I think it was like XXL or something like that.
Damn, I was gonna say if it was a L, then I would.
And the reason I picked it up is, I mean, obviously it was a great deal.
Oh yeah.
Also, it was like this wasn't the main clearance sale. It was in the team store.
Yeah.
But also it was the second to last jersey available because I've either could have gone the Lillard jersey or a Young Hansen City Edition jersey.
But let's be honest, Jan Hansen doesn't play much.
I'm sorry, Young Hansen. That one was also a couple sizes too big.
Was the Lillard jersey, was that the statement edition jersey, or was
it was the black one.
It was just
like
black
the
one.
away uniform.
Okay, gotcha. That's cool though. I mean,
anyway, that was a little story for me.
I wish I could have gone, but I was busy that day, so I kind of bummed out on that. Yeah. But I have some positive news about the Moda Center real quick. Yes, our first positive news. Nothing negative. So the city council had their meeting. Well, not like to discuss it just yet, but like it was open to the public. The public came in, gave their piece, and then left. And of course, the city council took their feedback into that and said, okay, we understand what you, the people, are saying, and we'll translate that to when we meet the Blazers. And I heard from the local news, shout out to KGW8, news channel, because they're the only like news channel I've seen that's been constantly up to date on the Moda Center, that the offer was sent to the Blazers, and the Blazers, matter of fact, are actually looking at it. They aren't. They're not avoiding it. They are looking at it. And I was like, "Are you sure?" So I looked at the article afterwards after they broke the story, and sure enough, they are indeed looking at it. So that gives me some security that they're actually looking at it and not just kind of like saying, F you city, and we're going to throw this offer in the trash. They're strongly considering it, and that it makes more the possibility of them or some of their representatives show up at the next city council meeting that's happening next week, not this coming week, but the week after, to talk about it. And I'm pretty stoked about that. I did also hear that Dundon has been in town and that he has been talking with the mayor of the city. Of course, the mayor doesn't have the final say on a lot of things, but it's a good first step, right?
Progress is progress in a situation like this, and at least the Blazers organization and Dundon are turning their heads a little bit. Like
it's starting to spark interest.
I don't like how a billionaire is taking hostage of our team, but I said this last week. I'm not too worried about relocation. I think this
Not
will
yet,
all
no.
blow over.
Yeah, and it's slowly doing that right now.
I think it's gonna blow over, and it's probably gonna take at least for the initial little bit, like the cons of relocation, especially considering the cost it takes to relocate and what's being lost, and the fact that Dundon
Don't know.
is a penny pincher. I don't even think it's in his best interest to actually relocate the team, and I think they're just bluffing.
That's what I think.
So good.
And
That's good news.
that is good news. And another thing I'll throw in there is if the Moda Center were to be remodeled, it opens up a bigger question, and this was confirmed by Keith Wilson. He said that it brings more likely the chance that Portland could host an NBA All-Star game in the near future.
That would be pretty sick. Maybe I'd have to pull up some time. Hey, I saw people being like, I saw like a discussion involving people outside of Portland being like, why does the arena need renovating? And first of all, like it's old, but also it's one of those things where it's like, for me at least, someone who's never been to an NBA arena outside of the Moda Center, seeing other arenas such as like the Intuit Dome where the Clippers play, and like it's mind blowing the difference between the two. Like, even though the Moda Center in the past couple of years have been stealing ideas from the Clippers and other high tech arenas in the league, for example, like the scoreboards and stuff, and also like Dak. Do you know that recently they added like the convenience store where you pay before entering, and there's cameras that that track what you grab, and then when you walk out, that's automatically deducted from your credit card.
Oh yeah,
Do-
yeah, yeah.
Like I
You saw a couple people doing that. It's been there for a couple years, but not a lot of people originally when it was installed used it. But then as
no,
they
I mean it's pretty neat. If we could get a
yeah,
crazy ass jumbotron and cool seats and making it safer and look
you know
nicer.
what? You know what would be amazing if this is just an idea that popped in my head. If the Motor Center were to be remodeled, like let's take ideas from what they did with the Clippers arena with the Intuit Dome, and let's install in the seats. Like let's install our own fan section and call it like not the Blazers wall, but we can come up with a better name like like
That'd be pretty sweet.
the trail the trail roll or something
Or
something like that. That would be cool. And then it had built-in charging for like plugging in your
yeah,
phones and
so
all that.
basically one-on-one copy. That'd be pretty sweet.
Oh, 100%.
Anyway, a lot
But
a lot of
here's a good question for you is
Mhm.
that let's say this does happen when it's being renovated, where do you think most likely the Blazers will play?
Oh, if we get relocated.
Not relocated, but if the renovation were to happen for the Mo Center, do you think it will go back to the Memorial Coliseum, or do you think we'll
Probably the
choose
Memorial
somewhere else?
Coliseum.
Okay,
I would imagine that I mean, listen, I don't know how these renovations would work, but I imagine because due to the scale of it, it would be like the entire building basically being having scaffolding and shit all over. But I'd imagine they'd do it like over the off seasons, or at least like the indoor parts of it during the off season, so that they could play there the entire time. But otherwise, yeah, it'd be the Memorial Coliseum, I'm sure.
gotcha. Yeah, but I mean that's positive news. I'm hoping we get more positive news coming out of that meeting next week
Yes,
and see where everything is
we
because that deadline is August 12th.
we're really gonna need it. Yeah,
Definitely. I think that's all we got to cover for today's
yeah,
episode.
Yeah, I mean that's the last big NBA free agency move. We're a couple weeks shy of football, at least in its preseason form, starting back
Yes.
up.
Well,
Yeah,
it's better to see football on your television. Let's not get that twisted.
yeah, and then I mean we always got college football, but
Oh, yeah, we should tell the wonderful viewers. Have we told them on last week's episode about us going to the fire game? The
yeah,
thing.
uh,
Okay.
or
So
I
true.
mean I can't remember, but yes, we're going to a Portland Fire game on We're seeing the Indiana Fever.
Yes, and I'm super excited just because I get to see not just Caitlin Clark, but Aaliyah Boston.
Yeah,
I've been pretty big fans of them two for a little
you know,
bit, so it'll be quite fun.
the WNBA All Star Weekend is over.
Yes. And fun fact, by the way, I don't know if you watched. Did you watch the All Star game?
I watched clips of it. Yeah, I didn't
Okay.
watch the full thing.
I don't know if you know about this, but 3-point contest happened, and guess who came in second place for the 3-point contest?
Tell me, it was Carlton, right?
Yep, Bridget Carlton
Let's go.
came in second place in the 3-point contest behind Olivia Miles. That doesn't surprise me. Olivia Miles won. Or no, not Olivia Miles. It was AZ Fudd. AZ Fudd won. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. But the fact that we have a shooter like that in a startup team in Portland is quite exciting.
Yeah, and I guess I'll throw this out there. In the playoffs currently, I mean, the Fever are only 5 in the conference standings right now, and the Fire are 9. So theoretically, we could make the playoffs, and we're not that far removed from the Indiana Fever. So it's a winnable game. Just to add excitement, a little bit of excitement, you know. So yeah, I guess we'll come back next week with a trip update on how that goes.
Yes. But congrats to Bridget Carlton for coming second place in
Good
3-point
job, Bridget
contest.
Carlton.
I hope we can at least put a decent fight in for the Indiana Fever. I only hope.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, I'm happy win or lose because again, it's the Fever, and of course, Caitlin Clark has not been shooting the greatest this month, but she'll come back better next month. But yeah, that was today's episode. More definitely NFL heavy than basketball, but it kind of
Even though we did go on a lot of tangents at the end.
Yeah, but it was a nice little spread out episode. So yeah, I thank you guys for listening. I'm your host Dak,
and I'm Oliver,
and we'll see you guys next time for another edition of the OD Sportscast.
Bye bye.